Good evening, everyone. It's 18:30. Welcome to this meeting of the Council's Cabinet on Monday, 21st of July, 2025. Can I start by reminding everyone that this meeting is being broadcast live via YouTube and the recording will be archived for future viewing. Could all councillors and officers who wish to speak ensure that they switch on their microphones when they do and switch them off again when they've finished. This is extremely important for the live stream to ensure that the cameras focus on the person speaking. Thank you. I'll move on to the agenda. Item 1, receive any apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chair. We've received apologies from Councillor Paul Walker.
Thank you, Andrea. Item 2, any declarations of interest? None showing. Thank you. Item 3 is to approve as a correct record the public minutes of the meeting held on the 16th of June 2025. I note there's a couple of absences, so I'm looking for one of my colleagues on my right. Could I have a proposer that they're correct? Councillor Fletcher, seconder. Councillor Chowdhury. All those in favour? That's unanimous from those who are present at the meeting. I'm presuming there's no against. Any abstentions? I believe there are 2. Thank you, Councillor Walker. Item 4, to consider any urgent business brought forward to the meeting under Route 12. I'm not aware of any. Right. Item 5, forward plan. Chief Executive.
Thank you, Leader. This is the forward plan from the 1st of August through to the 5th of November this year. Happy to take any questions on the forward plan.
Thank you, Chief Executive. Any questions? Okay, it's for information and to note, so we'll note that. Thank you. Item 6, smoke control policy and proposed consultation. Can I invite Rachel Liddle to present the report, please?
Thank you. East Staffordshire currently has 13 smoke control areas covering urban areas within Burdon-upon-Trent to help protect the population from poor air quality by preventing smoke being emitted from chimneys. With the increased use of solid fuel burning appliances, residents living in areas that are not covered by the smoke control orders are not provided with the same controls for air quality. The government's air quality strategy priorities include the reduction of pollution from domestic burning through smoke control areas and use of cleaner fuels, with an expectation that local authorities use their powers to reduce fine particulate matter called PM 2.5. All councils are encouraged to support the delivery of national PM 2.5 targets by taking action to reduce emissions from sources within their control. This is also supported through the Council's Air Quality Action Plan, which aims to reduce PM 2.5 emissions across the borough by enforcing smoke control laws to help reduce domestic emissions. This report proposes to revoke all the existing smoke control areas to replace them with a new single order, declaring the whole of the borough a smoke control area. This will reduce the risk of harmful emissions of uncontrolled burning of solid fuels in open fireplaces for all residents in the borough, and not just those covered by the existing smoke control areas. A smoke control enforcement policy has been drafted for approval, setting out the Council's approach to enforcement and the use of fixed penalty notices. It is proposed that a statutory consultation process be completed and a public awareness campaign be carried out to ensure that residents are aware of any implications there might be on them. The results of the consultation will be reported via an EDR for consideration of any representations prior to the new smoke control order being declared.
Thank you, Rachel. That's quite clear. Thank you for highlighting those recommendations as well. I'm conscious that Cabinet members have had this report presented on 2 occasions, but just in case, are there any questions or comments? No, so I'm happy to move those 4 recommendations at item 13. Can I have a seconder, please? That was Councillor Fletcher, thank you. All those in favour, please show. That's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Now move on to item 7, Towns Fund Delivery Plan 2025 to 2027. Jonathan Percival to present, please.
Thank you, Chair. This report sets out a delivery and phasing plan for the remaining Towns Fund money on the Burton and High Street project between now and March 2027. It also identifies an operator for the proposed food and beverage use at the rear of Bass House, including initial heads of terms on comparator information. Section 4 of the report sets out the delivery plan approach, which divides the site into different phases of delivery, with the Town Fund money being identified for phases 1, 2 and 3. Other phases are subject to other funding opportunities, including grant and private investment, and may come forward at different or concurrent times to the Towns Fund phases. The Towns Fund phases can be seen under Section 4 of the report, with Phase 1 being the wider enabling works, Phase 2 being the visitor centre, water tower envelope and initial public realm areas, and Phase 3 being the food and drink use at Bass House. The current expectation is that the planning determination for this project will be made in September, and so the intention would be to commence delivery following this in the autumn, beginning with demolition works at Trent House and data centre at Carling House. The financial appraisal of this is based on using the full amount of the remaining Towns Fund money to deliver these areas of the project to completion within the timeframe of the Towns Fund, and a copy of this has been shared with both MHCLG and the Town Deal Board. As mentioned, the report also identifies an operator for the rear of Bass House, which will be covered within the private part of this meeting, and subject to approval will be confirmed publicly shortly after. The recommendations of the report are for Cabinet to approve the allocation of Towns Fund money to the phases identified, for Cabinet to accept the heads of terms subject to contract, delegating authority to progress this to officers, and finally to delegate authority to the Cabinet Member for Regeneration for any amendment of funding between phases 1 and 3.
Thank you, Jonathan. Again, conscious members have had this report twice. Any questions, though, or comments? Councillor Chowdhury.
Thank you, Leader. I think, first of all, I'd like to thank the officers for producing this report and the whole of the regeneration team. I think we've been looking at this for a while now. And I think it's a significant milestone that we are actually progressing into this phase, whereby we are going to see some physical works on site. It's always a good sign. So yeah, I think it's really important, and I think it is going to be the first step on the ground to deliver this council's vision in terms of regenerating and developing not only that particular site, but also preserving the heritage of Burton upon Trent.
Thank you, Councillor Chowdhury. If no one else wishes to speak, can I move the recommendations at 12? Can I have a seconder? Councillor Chowdhury. All those in favour? Again, that's unanimous. Thank you, Cabinet colleagues. Thank you, Jonathan. That actually brings us to the end of the public part of the meeting. We will now move into the private part of the meeting. So can I move then from the chair, and in accordance with section 100A(4) of the Local Government Act 1972, the press and public be excluded from the remainder of the meeting, and is likely, in order of the nature of the business to be transacted or the nature of the proceedings, that there would be disclosed exempt information as defined in the paragraph part 1, schedule 12A of the Act. I've moved that. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor McKiernan, take the vote. All those in favour, please show. That's unanimous, so we will now move into the private